Hello, everyone. Welcome to Amazing Plantz4mationz. We have an amazing guest here with us. I have, as you see on the screen, her name is Tamra, but on the screen it's Tamra, which I love because I really love the little spin there with raw because she is such an advocate for the raw foods and what they've done for her health. Whoops. And I forgot to turn my phone down. My bad. But Tamara, I actually heard Misfit Vegan mention your name. And then I ended up finding your YouTube channel based on that. And I found it so inspiring, your little talks that you do while you're taking your walk with the mindset. And I started inquiring about your journey. And then when I read all the things that you've overcome, everyone check out the bio. She's lost over 90 pounds, as you saw in there, and she's actually really focused things in with mindset, and she's had a vegan journey and now is really an advocate for raw foods. And I'm so excited to be able to have her come on and talk about her journey today. So welcome, Tamra. Thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. And welcome everyone in the audience. Let's see who we have here. Misfit Vegan, yay!
Hey, Jeanette.
Thank you so much for this fruit goddess. She is Raw Warrior Fruit Goddess. She has so many names. I'm so excited. Thank you, Jeanette, for mentioning her and letting me know about her journey. And I have here, who's this? Jody, thank you for joining. And we have, let's see, I will get to everyone's comments later on, but I wanted to welcome everyone in the comments. Martha, I get to meet Tamara in person. Nice. That is awesome. So, Tamara, I know you have a page called Raw Warrior, but this journey, I always ask everybody just to begin with, how did you even get involved with plant-based diet, or did you grow up vegetarian, or how did that come about?
Yeah, definitely did not grow up vegetarian. I grew up with the SAD diet. I call it SAD. My husband's always like, don't call it SAD. That's offensive to people. Well, it is SAD food, standard American diet.
Right?
It's sad for them. But I grew up in Illinois, and typical Illinois cooking was meat and potatoes, and that's how I grew up. In the era of you have to clean your plate before you get off the table, and so I grew up with that. My journey's been very up and down in weight loss, as far as I wasn't really overweight until after high school. Actually, not until really I got pregnant with my first daughter in '88. Because I was about 140 pounds when I got pregnant with her, and I was 210 when I delivered. And my weight just got worse after that. And through the years, I've had 3 C-sections, 4 children, because I had twins. And with each pregnancy, I got heavier and heavier. And I would try numerous different diets. You name it, I'll claim it. It was there. From keto to carnivore to vegetarian, to the lemon diet, the banana diet, the whatever, Jenny Craig, just on and on and on and on, just all of them.
Right.
It is just spiraling, because, and with each time, you fail, because it's not what God created for us to eat like that. He didn't create us originally to eat meat. He didn't. In Genesis, it tells us that he created every fruit, every seed from a tree. That's what he intended us for in Adam and Eve's day. Meat didn't hit the picture till Noah, and after all that sin. And so what brought me to, you asked me what brought me to this lifestyle. Well, I'd heard about vegan, I'd heard about vegetarian and those things. When I first started about a year ago, I didn't know about raw vegan. I just knew about vegetarian and vegan. And then, of course, I do the research of what's the difference between the two, kind of thing. But I kept bringing it to God of, how am I supposed to eat? And he told me go before the sin. And I didn't know what the heck that meant, going before the sin. And so as I looked into it further, it just kind of clicked with me is about the fall of man. And before we started sinning was eating in that way. And that's what kind of led me researching about raw vegan food and eating a more whole plant-based diet. And then I ran across in my research online, I ran across Jeanette, Misfit Vegan, and she was doing a course on food addiction freedom. And so I enlisted in that, which is unlike me to do something like that because so many times I'm more of a I'm okay, you're okay person.
Yeah.
And so I don't
You
normally
yourself.
air, yeah, I don't air my struggles. That's between me and God. It's not something I openly share. So I did that course, and I think it was 6 or 8 weeks, somewhere in there. And it was eye opening, and I learned so much. And it just really helped round out what I felt was the way to go. And then just learned how to deal with that emotionally, physically, and of course, in the food realm of that as well.
Wow. And so what was that like? I know and like you said, when you did something out of the ordinary, I think sometimes that is divine intervention, because why I was probably eating, at the worst in my life, and then somehow this person that grew up at standard American diet all of a sudden overnight decided to start eating only raw food, right? Like it's like, even if you're coming from vegan to raw food, it's like it's the natural way to eat, we find, especially after we're in this lifestyle. But it's like it's so unnatural, like you said, to everyone else that surrounds you. But to do something out of the
Absolutely.
ordinary, I feel like that, every little thing we do, finding this little morsel of information. That's why I think you probably do your YouTube and I do, just to put out there. And I know Jeanette has such a commitment to putting out there,
Mhm.
this information to help people. So that's amazing. And I think, you speak a lot about the mindset and things like that. Do you think that's what one of the things that really helped you to go raw and stay raw, or how did that transition work?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly and like others too. I mean, I mess up at times, and I eat things I shouldn't. I love to cook, and so I'm quite chefy, if you will, and I taste what I'm fixing for my family. Now majority of the time I'm fixing raw meal or vegan meals for them,
Hmm.
um, and because that's kind of important to me that they're eating a
Hmm.
healthier in their lives. Now all my kids are moved out, but they do come once a week for dinner or whatnot, and that's what I'll fix. And I host a Bible study on Friday nights, and I've been introducing them to vegan.
Oh, that's
And so it's kind of fun, trying to come up with new things for them that they've not ever heard of, like soy curls and weird things like that. And they're like, what the heck is that?
awesome.
And so, but they're loving it, and they're not balking at it. And so now with introducing the raw portion of it, that's a little harder because people want their cooked food.
Mhm.
But yeah, so
I
I think
think
I went all the way around that question. I don't know if I answered it.
Well, but and I think that we can get right to that, because I think that's important when you said that, it's kind of inspiring other people in so many ways. And I think one of the things that people have this misconception that vegan food's going to taste like plastic or something, like it's going to taste cardboard. What do we hear all the time, or they think it's only like lettuce and things like that. And even probably your vegan creations, if you were already cooking, that's a great way to introduce people to it, because all the other stuff can come later, the philosophy and everything. But the main
Mhm.
thing is people want to know, what can I eat and is it going to taste good? And if you're introducing people to that may not have ever thought about veganism, that's amazing. I saw this raw, and you guys have to check that on her YouTube. It's like a taco meat, like it made me, like it looked like she was eating a taco but raw. It was just so amazing what you made. So that was a cool
Yeah.
video I found of yours. So you can tell that you have those chef skills. But again, most of the time I find with this diet also, it can be very simple for those of us who don't cook, with and getting excited about it. I saw you, one of your videos you made where you were in the store just buying, a bunch of fruits and stuff. So I think that I see that you have excitement about it too.
Mhm.
So you're also showing other people that.
Right.
Did you find any resistance to it, like that you had to overcome, like where, the friends or family telling you not to do
Not really, because I've been very open about what I'm doing, and they're very respectful and supportive. Even my husband, they're all like, whatever you need, because when you see someone you love get to 300 pounds
it?
and you worry that they're not going to even get out of their 60s,
Hmm.
they're on board.
Yeah,
They're on board with my health and doing whatever they need to do supportive wise to get me, to keep me on track and help support me and feel comfortable in that. And it's funny, I recently met my daughter's boyfriend for the first time, and we went out to Chili's, and I had my bag of salad toppings because I don't generally go out to dinner unless I have what I'm going to eat, and I'll order a side salad, and I have, bring out my salad toppings of kale and onion and, celery and corn and just all kinds of stuff in this little Ziploc bag.
I
And I
love
dump it on my salad. And she's like, see, I told you my mom was extra.
it. That's great. That is awesome. And you make it happen though. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to go off your meal plan because of what other people are eating.
Right.
You just reminded me, let's talk about a few of those health conditions you were talking about. I know you had quite a few things. I saw you even get emotional there, as all of us would, that you were afraid you weren't even going to make it. So, like, what were you dealing with as far as health wise, or anything you want to mention?
Well, I had diabetes. When I first started this journey, if anyone knows what an A1C is, it's basically a number they assign to your average of your glucose levels. And mine was 11.2. Average is somewhere around 5. When you're around 5, you're not a diabetic. And so I was extremely high. That means that I would say probably my fasting sugar was over 200. So eating nothing in the day yet, I was that high. I was on metformin. I was on glimepiride, which is a morning med. I was on Trulicity, which is an injectable. I was on, what was the other one? Glimepiride, Toujeo. So I was on 4 different medications just for managing diabetes, and I was still failing at it because of my diet.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a huge one. Of course, with diabetes comes all these plethora of diagnoses and illnesses that follow right behind it. Like I had hypertension, fatty liver disease. I had neuropathy in both my legs, which is a numbing and tingling and painful at times
My mom has
condition.
that, so I know
Yeah.
exactly that.
I had hyperlipidemia. I had cirrhosis of the liver.
Mm,
They told me I was in stage 2 or so, maybe I think it's stage 2 of kidney failure.
oh my goodness.
Um, vitamin D deficiency, iron deficiency, anemic. So I mean, there it was all facing at me, and I was still eating horribly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like my mind is just blown as to why, not just people in general, but me, why do we do that to ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
We're sick and nearly dead. We've got one foot in the grave and we're still eating crap. And it's just so sad.
And what I find also sad, and I don't know, there's is the medical industry was giving you 4 medications, and I noticed in the beginning of this you said I had diabetes, like you don't have it anymore. So
No, I
like,
don't. Praise God. My A1Cs the last 3 times were 4.8, 5.2, and 5. And so I'm not considered to be a diabetic, but they won't take that diagnosis off of my chart
mhm.
until 2 years have passed that I have normal levels. And so it's just been, about 9 months since those 3 levels have been in the 5s. And so I've got a little ways to go, but I'm going to prove it to them that, and what's funny is even my physician, has not criticized me about my diet at
Yeah.
all. I
Maybe
mean,
they should recommend that diet to people instead of Trulicity and metformin, right? But I know they have their procedures that they follow too. But that's what I
mhm.
try to tell people, like, do your own research like she did, because the fact that all those things, so all of those things basically have, you're not taking all of those different medications.
No,
When
all of those, I mean, I was on a whole list of them. I was on gabapentin and methylcarbinol and olmestat, just all these for every diagnosis I listed to you, I was on some medication for them.
mm,
And at this point, the only two things I am still taking is a vitamin D and an iron, and that is the only two vitamins
mhm.
I'm taking. I
That
am
is
off every
amazing.
single one of my medications. They did not want it. The cardiologist and my regular doctor did not want me to come off of the cholesterol medicine. And like, but my cholesterol's normal. Oh, well, we have to protect damage that could have been done when it was so high. And I'm like, I'm coming off of it.
Mhm.
She's like, okay, well, we'll just retest it. Well, we've retested and it's still low. And so,
Oh, amazing. Thank
yeah.
God. I mean, that is truly a miracle. You guys see why I wanted to bring her on here? Like that, for people who are suffering or struggling or maybe having side effects from the medications, because all those
Yeah.
conflicting together, that can't also be good for you. You probably had other, I noticed when people are on a lot of medications, those could tend to cause it. And not that everybody's journey is the same, but like, when did you start noticing differences? Like, how long was it that you started to realize, like, wait, I think this raw, vegan thing is working for me?
Um, a lot of it right away, because actually the other thing that I need to mention in this is that my eyesight improved.
Wow.
Um, I found out that I wore glasses my whole adult life, and I ended up with a cataract in one of my eyes, and this just real recently. And so he's like, we got to fix that. I'm like, okay. So we go in to fix it, and afterwards he's like, well, your right eye has improved so much that you don't need glasses anymore.
What?
And so, yeah, so I mean, it improved my eyesight.
Oh,
But yeah, so and that was at the beginning, not even that far into my journey. So with going vegan and then the raw vegan, it improved my eyesight. But I would say with the raw vegan, I started noticing immediate changes in my skin and my complexion.
mhm.
Um, I don't have it to show you, but I know it's a little weird and unconventional, but I used to lose a lot of hair, a lot. My hair is pretty thin. And I started saving. At the end of the month, I would take out all the hair in my brush and I would roll it into a little cannoli looking thing and I would save it.
Oh,
And
wow.
each month it got smaller to where now I maybe have this much in my brush now. And before it was like a big hunk in my brush at the end of the month. And so I'm not losing any more hair. Now, one could say, well, maybe you've lost so much, there's no more left to lose. But I truly feel,
Yeah.
because it feels healthier and it
Mhm.
looks healthier. And those are things I've noticed, my skin wise and just the health of my hair. I noticed that right away, like I would say in the first month. I
That's
noticed those
amazing.
improvements. And by the second month, because I've just been raw since June.
Mhm.
And so since June, all of this has transpired, all of this medication reduction, my eyesight, everything, my hair, all this has happened since June. So you're
That
talking
is
about 4 months on this way of eating has done this for me.
That is and in 4 months, and people think, well, I can't start something like that. That could take years to happen. No, like, and I felt the same way, like with the effects of going raw. Um, just 1 second. No, I don't. You have it. I think you took it in there this morning. Sorry, we're sharing one charger in this house, so it's a big thing. Dawn says hi. I thought she was coming in because you said you improved your eyesight, because she also struggles with eyesight. So I was like, but that is what I was saying. 4 months, not even right. Wait a minute. Yeah, July, you said? August,
June. So you
June.
got all of June, July, August, September. Well, this is my 5th month.
Right. This is your 5th month. So, if that's not an inspiration to people to, and we realize it's already a transition going like from being vegan to raw. But if you can't even do like completely raw, do as much as you can, because those nutrients, like they change your hair, they change your, like, you feel all of your cells kind of regenerating, because I feel we're eating food in its natural state. And when you even cook food, I've realized, steaming, I've learned even that recently, that there's different levels of cooking for those who are transitioning. Just if you can make it through all day, that's what I've done a couple of times when I've shifted back from eating, cooked food back to completely raw. I try to go fruit all day, big salad, and it gets yourself energized. And then you start craving it. Like, do you feel like you still crave cooked food because you're around it? I would assume, like you said,
I
cooked.
do. I am around it. I really don't. I don't crave any kind of meat products or dairy products or any of that anymore.
Mhm.
That completely has healed and left my system. And the thing about those cravings is sometimes you have those cravings. I learned this from Jeanette. Some of those times when you have these cravings, it's because your body is getting rid of that poison that's in your
Mhm.
body from that food.
Mhm.
And that's where that craving's coming from. And so if you could ride that craving out, it will pass and then it's gone. And that's
Yeah.
how it was with the food, for me, as far as any of those meat products and stuff, is that once those left my system, I don't crave it at all. Not at all. And so I think that's the important part about any cravings, is if you can ride that out. Not that eating cooked food is the end of the world, because it's not.
Yeah.
It's what are you eating that's cooked is what matters.
Exactly. I completely agree. Like, I think when you're shifting to something like this, if you can eat whole foods, I think that's the biggest thing that
Mhm.
people don't do, that can, at least a majority of your diet, whole foods, and not,
Mhm.
because we can
And basically, if you can't eat it raw, don't eat it cooked.
don't need it at all. I thought you were gonna say.
No, if you can't eat it raw, don't eat it cooked. You can't eat raw rice. You
Hmm.
can't eat raw beans. You can't eat raw black beans and stuff. Then don't eat it cooked.
Right. I think that's a great way to look at it. I didn't get to show this one, only briefly, but Boldly Raw said he took a break from studying to
That's
support.
the Lima.
Thank you. And Marakita Solis, Vegan Empowerment Coaching, welcome. Thank you for being here. And we've got Tamra.
Diana Bananas. Thank you, Diana.
Thank you for joining. Inspiration, motivation, and faith. That's what this is. That's a good idea. Salad toppings. I think we missed that from when we must have been talking about
Yeah.
it. But I think that's the other thing, is I noticed that you know also the mindset of it, not only like over doing what you want to do. I think that's where, and really like getting in touch with your mind. And we'll talk about the actual food stuff here in a minute, of what you eat and how you make it interesting. But like, what prompted you to and also I was going to say, I'll link that below too, if Jeanette's okay with it, her next course, if she has one coming up, for those who want, because it sounds like that was really a turning
Yeah.
point. So
It was great. She has one coming up in November, I know.
okay. I'll see if she still has any space left, and ask if we can post that, if she's still here. And the other thing I wanted to ask you was, what prompted you to like put it out there and want to inspire others with the YouTube and the Instagram, and I think you have a Facebook too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just started the Facebook. But yeah, I think where I'm at with that is God's given me a calling on my heart to help others. And for a long time now, even before I started vegan, I was like, there's got to be other people out there that's struggling like this.
Mhm.
And it's not just me, because for so many years, and, we talked about earlier that I had gastric sleeve done. and I don't know if we were going to talk about that later or what have you, but for years in every diet and everything I had done, it was always somebody else's fault. It wasn't mine. The surgeon didn't do it right, or I would have lost the weight. The diet just didn't work. It wasn't right. And so you do this blame game. And so what I wanted to do was help other people that have those struggles to where we could work together in achieving health, and wellness, because it's not just about trying to look good. It's about trying to live, trying to live. And so that's, where I starting to share with others. And then Jeanette gave me the inspiration to go ahead and start a YouTube channel. And I'm still working on being savvy and more natural.
You know what? I love it. That's what drew me into you, was the raw, for lack of a better word, honesty that you shared. I just felt like it was someone that I was taking a walk with that was kind of telling me what you thought of. It's not something that even has to be planned, because you're literally using your own thoughts and ideas, about what you're seeing around you, or what you've just dealt with, or the one, I think it was a funny one. I remember you saying that the lady was like fruit shaming at the store. Wasn't it something to do with it may not have been your video, but somebody was saying the lady made a comment about all the fruit you're buying. And I think at one point, all of us have dealt with that at the store.
Well, the most recent one was
about a party or something, I'm like, no.
The most recent one was about a stupid papaya, if that's the one you're thinking about. And it was $8.50. It was a big papaya though. And she's like, $8 for a papaya. And she has her face all distorted and judgmental brows and all that. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to be a whole meal for me. That's a whole meal.
Right.
What I really wanted to say is, what did you spend at, fast food restaurant? I'm not going to name any, but
yeah, exactly.
Or, what'd you have for dinner or whatever, but I'm not that kind of person, or at least not that quick on my feet to think of something to come back on that. But I thought about when I got to the car, that's when I shot the video. I'm like, is my papaya my money?
It's my money, right? Yeah. And I think that's, and also it's not really more expensive, because you're shifting what you're buying to, if it had been probably a big old steak, she wouldn't have said a word like that.
Wouldn't have said a word.
So it is funny how people respond to, I feel like it's funny because we're almost going back to our natural human diet, but right now we're like the outcasts of the world that are eating that way, or you're almost such a minority when you care about being healthy, or you're vegan. It's such a small percentage. And I do feel like things like this, and you putting your story out there, and it's one of the reasons I started this, because I'm like, these are these transformational stories. But to your point, people can lose weight in all kinds of ways. We can, go on a fad diet. We've all done it. Like you said, we've all had the diets of Weight Watchers and I want to say carnivore, but that's a newer thing, of course. But it was used to be called Atkins, I guess, what they called it when I was yo-yo dieting and trying to eat, But those things, we find that people get healthier when they eliminate saturated fat and things from their diet. So those people that are losing a lot of weight are eliminating other unhealthy things from their diet. And it might look like, weight loss can be great, but what's going on in your internal, drains, as we call it, in veins and your arteries, that's where the optimal health is what we're looking for. Not
right, because people need to understand is losing weight or being thin does not equal health. It doesn't.
And so if you can do it, and combine it, and you mentioned that you had some surgery, and that initially, did that help you in losing weight, but you found that you couldn't sustain that?
I only lost 35 pounds.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, and it was all me. I can't blame the surgeon. It was all me,
Yeah.
it was like challenge accepted. You can't ever eat pasta again. Oh, look, I can eat pasta. It's not a problem. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right, right. Because your mind wasn't ready for
it
that
wasn't.
change. Yeah. And I think that's so important, like where our, because we have to be strong in it, too. Like you have to be strong minded, and that comes as
Mhm.
you get older. Some people start out life like that, but I think when we're younger, especially, we want to do what everybody else is doing a lot of the time.
Well, and something I recently spoke about was about finding your tribe or finding your geese was this morning. I was
Yeah, I heard
walking
that
and there was geese honking, and so then I looked up, well, why are they honking? What is that for? And that's what I found out. And so that was my talk this morning when I was walking is, you got to find the people that are there with you
one.
in
Hmm.
your community that's pushing you, encouraging you, and they're with you. So you got to find your tribe, and I think that that's important when you're doing just about anything that's worth doing in life. Whether you're trying to improve on your career, whether it's weight loss and health, whatever it is. If you don't have that tribe of people, I think it's Goggins that talks about the foxhole. The foxhole is people that are in there in war with you
Hmm.
that's going to go to bat for you and tell you when you're being stupid or tell you, call you out on things. You
Yeah.
need those people in your life.
Absolutely. That is so true. And I think the beautiful thing about online is, we live in completely different places, but I was able to find you, and you were able to find, Jeanette and the group that she hosts there. And I'm sure those that you stay connected with people. And now people are finding you and able to come to you for that motivation. When your videos pop up, they might be feeling down, and all of a sudden they watch that or they hear something that like resonates with them, because you're also, while you're out, and you walk every day.
I
is that
walk I walk 6 miles every day. It was kind of a challenge in the class that I took with Jeanette, Miss Fit Vegan, was to get 10,000 steps in every day. And of course, they're all like, "You have to have a day off." I'm like, "No," because I know myself. If I take a day off,
Yeah.
I'll take time off. I'm one
Right.
of those all in or not. And so I knew, and it's important to know yourself and know your pitfalls. So, I walked every day the 10,000 steps, and then I went up to making sure I hit 5 miles every day. And now I'm up to 6 miles every day.
Wow, that is amazing. And that
Every morning we do it, but we used to call it 10 before 10. Get your 10,000 steps in before 10. Because if I don't do it first thing in the morning, it's not going to get done because you get busy with work and life. And I'm not one of those I can split it up several times during the day. It just doesn't happen for me. So I'm all in the morning. I do it before I start work.
That is awesome. Can you do, that's a good time for us to go into that. Can you just take us through like your day if someone's thinking, I want to try to kind of convert, and it's important. Obviously, we all start at different places. Maybe early
Mhm.
on you had to eat more or less, but the thing is, like, what do you do right now? Just if someone always wants to know this, what do you eat in a day? You see 100 of those videos online. Let's see. Oh, that I read that one, and then I'll get to the questions. Jeanette's course will be online, from a sad diet straight to a fully raw diet if you so desire. That is awesome. Thank you. And they can lose weight, but can they reverse disease?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's so
And
important.
she knows where she's coming from because I think, if I'm not mistaken, she has MS or was diagnosed with MS and has been healed, and vision has been healed. She would be a really good one for you to interview.
Okay, I would love to. Anyone here that has a story, I would love to have your story and have you come on, because I think the more of these we can put out, the more we can inspire people.
Mhm.
Yeah, you go, Tamara. Thank you. Thanks to all of you for being here. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And
So a typical day for me is I get up and the first thing I do is, I go out and walk, whatever time that is. I mean, if I'm up, but I don't like to go out at dark, because now with the time change, I used to get up 5:30 and go walk, but it's too dark now and I get scared.
Yeah. We won't be able to see you in the video, right? Yeah.
Right. So now it's around 6:30, around in there before the light starts hitting. And so, but I go out and start walking around that time every day. Some days, for whatever reason, I sleep in, but I don't go by an alarm clock. I have my own company and we work from the house. And so it's not like I have to be sitting at my desk at 8. And sometimes I feel like this is a full-time job doing what I'm doing with my eating and just lifestyle right now.
Yeah.
But I get up and I go do my walk first thing. And so that's usually about an hour and 50 minutes, something like that, to do the 6 miles, hour 45, somewhere in there. I can't run or anything like that because I have had 2 neck surgeries and I have a hip issue. I have no cartilage in my hip from the weight that I had. And so I can't jump, I can't run, things like that. So I do walk the whole thing. But I get up and I walk all day or all morning. And then I get back and I'll usually have some kind of juice prepared. If nothing's prepared, then I'm juicing right after I get back. And there's 2 juices. You and I spoke about this before. There's 2 juices that I like, and I do a red juice or a green juice. There's really no in between for me. My red juice is what I have here, and that's my beet juice. It's beet, watermelon, red grapes, red apples, and then I also do a green juice with the celery and a bunch of green stuff. But anyway, so I'll either make that or that's the first thing I put in my body outside of water is my juice. And then probably a couple hours after that, I'll come in and work for a couple hours, and then I'll start lunch for my husband, and my son-in-law and daughter work for me. And so I'll go and fix lunch for everybody and a big salad for myself, or I'll have a big bowl of fruit. It just depends on what I have and what I'm in the mood for. I'm really sad that we're heading out of watermelon season because that's like my ultimate favorite fruit. But,
I know somebody else that likes those too.
Yeah. So anyway, but I do an everything salad, and so they're usually pretty flavorful for me. And what I call everything, and I think I've done a video on this, is it's pretty much any vegetable I have in the refrigerator is in my salad. It's everything. And so one time I counted the ingredients, and there were 27 ingredients in my salad of vegetables. And so.
And do you like making your salad? Like, I sort of look at it as like where my downtime is while I'm chopping and preparing it. And like sometimes I'll be watching, motivation or other videos, YouTube videos of transformation stories and stuff, or health benefits and stuff. Do you make it fresh, or do you make like a big salad and that you can just dip off of?
I'll usually do about 3 days worth. I don't like going further than 3 days.
Yeah.
And what I'll do is for today, I'll go ahead and put in the, whatever salad part, like romaine lettuce or iceberg lettuce, spinach. I'll put that in, and then I'll add all my other stuff on top of it. And so what I save in the fridge is the other stuff. I don't mix in my salad part because I don't want it to, sog up.
Soggy.
Yeah, so each day I'll go and chop up fresh romaine or whatever kind of salad I have. But the kale I go ahead and put in there as well as all the other fixins. But it just makes it easier go-to salad for me. And then, but yeah, and I'll fix them whatever. It could be leftovers from the previous night. It could be, whatever I have on hand, I'll fix. If I have vegetables on hand, I'll stir fry up some vegetables for them, maybe make them some rice for it to go on. And that will be their lunch. And so that's kind of what I do there. And then I work for a few more hours again. And then in the evening, we've been going to the gym, my husband and I, trying to get gym time in, and we're doing uppers and lowers. So like one day we do the uppers, the next day we do the lowers.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
and and do you it's just basically like fruit or salads, and then sometimes you might have something like, what do you make for dressing? People always ask me that.
Well, my favorite is just lemon. I love lemon on salad or balsamic vinegar. And so when I'm feeling just real simple, I'll just throw some of that on there. Or sometimes I'll use salsa. I like salsa on a salad. But generally when I make a salad, there's a couple different ones I'll do. I'll do an avocado salad, which is just your avocado, your lemon. Sometimes I'll put some olive oil in it. I try to not do too much oils,
Mhm.
but I will put that in my salad dressing when I'm making a dressing.
Mhm.
And then lemon, cilantro, tomato, and I'll just blend that all together. And that's,
Mm.
my favorite one. And then I'll also do a creamy one that's kind of like a creamy ranch, and I'll use soak some cashews and have that with lemon and a bunch of different seasonings like dill and sometimes a little thyme, sometimes some oregano. Just depends on what I'm feeling that day. But the base would be the cashews, almost always dill, some parsley will go in that, and a little lemon.
That sounds good. And then for like fruits, I know you like watermelon. What are your other
I
fruits that
don't know if there's a fruit I have met that I didn't like.
you didn't like? I know, right? That's why I'm thinking, is there
Um,
it's
I
supposed
do a lot of grapes.
yeah.
I mean, I'll go to the store and people probably look at me funny. Who knows? People could be out there YouTubing about this crazy lady that buys all these grapes. But I mean, if they have 5 different kinds of grapes, I'll buy all 5.
Mhm.
I buy the green grapes and the red grapes. I love the midnight grapes, the ones that are midnight drops. They're long and
Oh,
skinny.
yeah, they're like I've had those
Yeah,
before. I didn't know what the heck I got, but that's all they
love
had, so
those.
I tried
Love
them.
those. But yeah, red grapes, cotton candy grapes are really good.
Had those.
Um, yeah, I mean, there's a fruit punch grape out there I saw recently that I tried was really good. But yeah, I'm game for anything I've never tried before. I'm all about trying new stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'd say grapes and watermelons are my utmost favorite. I love honeydews and cantaloupe. I love summer kiss melons. Those are just awesome. Golden melons are really super good, real sweet, real juicy. But now we're heading out of season for all of that. And so now I'm like gonna have to find whatever my new favorite's gonna
Oranges
be.
still maybe being still around, we hope. Yeah, our stores get a little like that too. It's like it's sad at there, right? We still have bananas. And
Make an ice cream.
exactly. What is like how much like I know people ask me this a lot. Like if you're when you first went raw, did you let's say you're talking about a watermelon, would you eat half a watermelon for breakfast? Would you just eat like a bowl of watermelon? Like does it
It's a
depend?
bowl. I like to cut it up into cubes, so I never eat like out of the melon itself,
Mhm.
just because I like to be all fancy, I guess. I don't know, extra,
Right.
as my daughter would call it. Um, but I love her. She's just awesome. But anyway, um, but yeah, so I would cut it up, and at first I was measuring just to see how much I would eat when I was in the class with Jeanette. She would say, well, for this first week, just write down everything you eat. Well, my mind goes immediately to the old days of, well, when you write down what you eat, you're writing down how much and what quantities of everything. And I'd be like, I ate one Brazil nut. And she thought that was the funniest thing because people ask how you get your psyllium. Well, Brazil nuts have psyllium in it. And so one Brazil nut gives you your quantity for the day that you need. And
Yeah, you
so
know,
I eat one Brazil nut every day.
that's amazing. And that's like such something so simple, but like if you don't, know that, you wouldn't you might be deficient in the psyllium, and that's important. I've noticed for women, especially I think I've read as we get in our older age, like
Mhm.
not that we're older, but over
I
40.
just turned 60. I just had
Oh
my
my
60th
gosh, you're
birthday.
kidding me. You're getting
Yeah.
younger. Going the other way. You look younger. Um,
Yeah.
that's
So,
amazing.
but anyway, so quantity wise, I was measuring out like 8 cups of watermelon. And I mean, it was a huge bowl. I never could eat it all. And Jeanette would be like, no, you're not eating enough. You need to, make sure you're getting enough because, so but yeah, that whole huge bowl of watermelon would last me for a couple meals because
Mhm.
it was just too much,
Yeah,
because I didn't have that sleeve done in 2007. Now,
right.
one could probably say, well, you're losing weight now then because of the sleeve. No, because I didn't lose the weight when I had the sleeve, and I didn't lose weight several years after that. That was 2007. You're
Yeah.
talking about, what, 17 years ago? Is that what that would be? Um, Yeah,
Just like you're
so
eating the
no,
right foods now and you're getting the nutrients that your
yeah,
body needs, I think.
you
Even
know,
if you can eat less, someone else might be able to eat the whole watermelon, but the point is you're eating watermelon, I think.
right,
So
right,
if you just eat a whole watermelon, you're going to be good to go, whether
right,
you have the full stomach or not, right?
right.
um,
So this bowl that I'm talking about is the same bowl I use for about every meal. It's my measuring bowl, if you will. That's
uh-huh.
the same size salad I eat, the same size watermelon I eat, the same size, not an ice cream. That'd be way too. That'd be like what, 20 bananas? I don't know what
Right.
that would be. But yeah, so I mean, I pretty much, that's the bowl I have most of my meals in. I love spiralized zucchini, and so I might do a whole zucchini, but I can't eat the whole thing because I'll do the zucchini, I'll do a squash, and I'll do carrot. I love to
Mhm.
do spiralized carrot in there, and then I'll slice up some red cabbage real thin to go on in that also. So whenever I'm doing spiralized, I try and keep everything in a noodly type cut.
Yeah,
And so I'll do cucumber with it also. And so I'll spiralize all that together. And usually with that, that's when I use my cashew dressing and use that on that. And that's in that same bowl. So I have one bowl I use for everything pretty much when I eat.
that's amazing. I like that. I think we all have our little favorite bowls because I'm that way with this like green thing. It has like sectioned off and like green's my favorite color, so I like using it. I feel like I've returned to like being a kid with
Yeah,
recipe, right? Like because we have our own little methods that we're using. But I think that's so important to find make it exciting, like make it you're into what you're eating, so you're not worried about what you're now not eating. I think is so
right,
important. When people, if you're doing something that you don't like, or it's like a chore, then it will be a diet. It'll last only very a week or whatever other diets last.
right.
um, Let me see what I missed here. Let's see. Wow, when she said 6 miles a day, what an inspiration. 1 hour and 45 minutes a day, despite your challenges. I would love to do a morning Bible study walk and us all juice together, trying new ones together. Oh, that's wonderful. That sounds like fun. Let's see. You're doing amazing, not just for you, but a big inspiration, a wonderful role model to others. I totally
Oh,
agree. Apple a day said, no love for the humble apple. Yeah, we forgot to mention apple. We like apples too, don't
I
we?
do like apples. It's just not my go-to.
You, Dawn. J&J Video Reacts. Hey, everybody. Oh, don't forget to smash the like button. Thank you. And let me see here. Oh, yeah. Red grapes. Dawn loves red grapes. She definitely is a red grape fan.
Mhm.
I used to want green ones because just I grew up as a kid eating green grapes. And so I would be like, oh, they brought green. I'll take them. But every now and then I would eat a couple of the red grapes that she would have, and I'm like, I'm starting to think I like the red grapes better. It's like all of a sudden they had a better taste to me.
Mhm.
But
Oh, thanks, Salima.
yeah. Sexy at 60. I like that. That could be, you have so many names, right? We could rename our pages, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so and then so just to, before we wrap up in a bit here, I just wanted to make sure we got in about your YouTube channel, Raw Warrior. I know you said that meant a little bit more than just raw.
Yeah. So Raw Warrior isn't just about the food, because, when I'm trying to help others in their eating and their lifestyle and, with inspiration or whatever, what came to mind with Raw Warrior and why I came up with that name was that being raw with yourself, being real, and so many times you've heard people say, boy, that was raw, because somebody's being real about something. And so that's where raw comes in, is it's about being that vulnerable person, being raw with yourself, which is being truthful with yourself. Because if you're not raw with yourself, you can't succeed in anything you're doing because you're not being real with yourself. You're not being realistic. And so
Mhm.
you really need to find who you are before you can go out to anybody else and even try and explain it to anyone else. And so I came to that realization of being raw in this food journey that I've been on. And I hate calling it a journey because I don't like that word, because journey means it's going to end. You're going on a journey and then you reach it. I'm never going to reach the end of this journey.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, I'm a raw warrior forever.
I
And so
love
warrior is about fighting for what you believe in.
Mhm.
And so hence the name Raw Warrior.
I love it. And I can tell you're very passionate about it. And that is going to keep you on that momentum to, and I think when we strive to help others too, it's a service that we're doing. So it's almost like within us, we get stronger. So I
Mm-hmm.
love that. And I just really think that we all could look within ourselves, and even if you're not like at that point where you're ready to make that commitment and change, I think your story can inspire us to start thinking about it and thinking about health and in a different way, and watching the things that you went through and the point you were at, and to have all those medications be off your plate now, and all that worry that you had, those 10 minutes of meals that we think we enjoy, if they're doing that collectively to us, we can find other meals to enjoy. Like you can tell like the joy and the excitement when you talked about your green and red juice. You're all ready for Christmas, and you can tell the excitement when you were talking about the food that you're eating. It's just a shift. Like it's a shift in what you enjoy. And when you start feeling healthy, I think you find that momentum picks up.
Mm-hmm.
I like that because a lot of people call it a journey, and you're like, it's not a diet, it's not a journey. I don't know what name we could pick for it. It's just a lifestyle kind of. I
Yeah.
mean,
A lot of times I'll call it my path. It's
mhm.
the path I'm on, And one other thing I wanted to say too is there's this thing I learned early in my life, in my career, and it so much applies now, is that when you're doing worthwhile work and making a difference, it gives you purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you purpose, and that's what I feel like vegan and raw vegan has pushed me forward into that, of when I'm helping others, I feel like I have purpose.
That is amazing. I definitely think you have purpose, and God brought this into your life for sure because of the way that it transpired.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to go through those things to find that strength to be able to help other people. So I think that's amazing that you got to the point you did and didn't just like most, like a lot of people just say, you know what, this is my destiny. This is my fate. I'm just gonna, continue to live this way. This just happened to me. And I think that what you said was so important when you blamed everyone else, because we can do that in life. We can blame the situation. We can
Mm-hmm.
blame this. We can blame this person. We can blame our job. We can blame whatever. But really, the blame comes on us. There was one other very I love the one you did. I think you were talking about conviction versus commitment. Was that the one where,
It was it
or
wasn't conviction. It was
yeah,
what was it? Commitment.
everybody go look at her YouTube. That'll get them there. It was a really good one. We just don't remember the C word because we're on the spot right now. But yeah, it
um,
was basically just talking about, commitment just means that you're committing to something every day. But when it gets hard, the other word meant
it might have been persistence.
persistence. I think that's what it was. Yep, yep, that's what it
It was
was.
persistence versus consistency.
Ah, that's
That's
it.
what it was.
Oh man, I
You
messed that
know,
up big time. What's that game, Telephone or whatever? Remember we used to play? By the time it got to me, it was like conviction
right?
versus commitment. But anyway,
Yeah, but consistency is when you do something the same and you're consistent about it.
mhm,
But persistence is when you do those things regardless of the obstacles and the things that are thrown at you, regardless of how you feel. It's about being persistent in your goals and in your dreams and what you want in life.
yeah,
Because all of us can have consistency. I used to eat consistently bad. I was pretty consistent with it.
yeah,
I,
that's
I was consistently lazy,
true.
and so, yeah, we can all be consistent. Consistency doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. I guess persistence also can be bad if it's misused. Somebody could be persistently, rude to people.
You have to be persistent with your health consistence.
Yeah. And
That's
so,
great.
but there's a difference for me, and persistence is about, you know, even when I mess up,
Mhm.
it's turning back around and pivoting and saying, I'm not going to do that again. And I pivot and I turn and I'm persistent to go the direction I was supposed to be going. And that's important for people to remember that.
Definitely, that was another good one. Pivot. I'm telling you guys, you got to check out this YouTube channel. I'm like, I watch it every day to see what the morning walk is. So, and that's just those little lessons or like things that you've talked about, Dawn, who's on here, was on the comments. I thought about that when she has challenges like with her eyesight, but she always is focused on what she can do and is persistent about it, and consistent, whether and like you said, with all those challenges you talked about, you're still walking 6 miles a day. Like that's persistence. If I'm, because consistent, like you said, could be, well, I have all this going on, I'm not going to do it. And we all can't maybe go and walk 6 miles depending on it, but what can you do? I know Angela Sketty, who I have on here, talks, she helps people that have health challenges with exercising, and she talks about that. And like it's not everybody can't do the same thing, but everybody can do like something, and I think
Absolutely.
that is so amazing that you have that mindset. And that's definitely probably what shifted, I feel like, and has to shift in all of our journeys. We can continue shifting it too, because you're continuing to learn and grow. And
Mhm.
but yeah, it's just, I think it's such an inspiration that you've made that big of a transformation in 4 months. But we can all tell this isn't something that's like you said, like a journey. It's something that now is ingrained in you, a purpose and a lifestyle. And I think
Mhm.
that's what's so inspiring about it, is the way that like you're helping others because others have seen you do it. So that is amazing. What other, is there any other things that you would like to say? Just like any messages you want to talk about, as far as, while we're still on here, for people who might, be watching?
Well, I think it's important too is to be aware of what you're putting in your mind and putting in front of your eyes. Is because, like, I listen to a lot of motivational speaking. That's the other thing I do while I'm walking that hour. And so, um, is because it's important to put away the negativity and the naysayers and all of that. And when I'm listening to different motivational stuff, because I listen to Motiversity, I don't know if you've heard of that, but they just have a plethora of different people on there. But Goggins, I listen to Jim Rohn a lot. He's more motivation about the business world and stuff, but there's a lot of applicable things that he shares. And so I do listen to him. And one of the things he said to me one time, and I want people to really think about this: don't put the F on your forehead, the word fail. You are not a failure. You're not a failure. You might mess up. You might have to pivot, but you're not a failure. So stop using that word on yourself.
I love that. That is amazing. Um, oh, well, I think, let me go back to this one. No way, you're 60, you look amazing. And then, is this here? Where can we get one of your Raw Warrior merch? I love what your brand stands for. And
I'm working on that. I do have a page out there. I need a cup with pivot.
I used to play basketball. We used to like that word too, pivot.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of the same, things in that word, right? Like it means that. I love that. Yeah, we can all get a cup. Do I
Yeah.
get a free cup? Can I get a free cup? Look, we'll
But
have
yeah,
to
I am working
post
on a website.
this.
This is one of my merchandise here.
All right, let's take a look.
Warrior. It's got a little RW.
Oh, that's so cool. I love
But
that.
one of the things I always say at the end, oh, and my dog, this is my Teddy. I have a dog named Teddy, and I had him
Oh,
made into a Raw Warrior.
Oh, that's so
So
cute.
he's got the little RW. Of course, it's
Oh,
back. I don't know. You guys are probably seeing it backwards, but it says RW. He's got a little shield. Anyway, but
cute.
yeah,
What
I'm
do you
working
think?
on my website for all of that, and so I'll send something out once we get it up and running.
I'll put a link once you get it, then I can go back and put it here in the description. And we have a link. I don't know. Did I add the links? I think if I didn't, they'll be on here right away after this. We have to add your, I think I did, your YouTube link and Instagram and Facebook. But if it's not on there, I can't remember if it's just the bio or if I put the links yet. But anyway, I'll post them in the comments and in the description for you so that people can find you. Is it a and it's just your Instagram is Raw Warrior, right? Is that
Yeah,
or
it's Raw Warrior Tamra.
okay, Raw Warrior Tamra, and Raw Warrior is the name of the YouTube.
All right.
And
And my Facebook, I actually just created that, so you probably didn't have that yet. Is RW Community.
okay, oh good, it's a community. That's awesome. I was thinking of just your personal page. I didn't know whether to link
I
that.
have that too. You can share that one too if you want.
Okay. And so you've got Raw Warrior and the merchandise coming up. I love everything that you're doing. Like this has been an amazing conversation. Thank you for sharing with us your journey and your where you struggled and then overcame it. And you're definitely an inspiration to others. Is there anything else that you'd like to say before we end? I know there's probably so much because you have a lot of wisdom, but I'll guess
Yeah.
we'll have to save some of it for your YouTube channel.
Yeah. Go raw or go home. That's what I got to say.
That's right. That's what each video ends with. I love it. Go raw or go home. I love when you get that at the end of the video. So everyone, let me just run through and thank everybody for coming. I see some new names here that are here to support you. That let's see. So we have Brianna Munson. Thank you, Jody Corto. I probably messed up the last name, but hopefully not. Thank you so much for being here. We've got Inspiration. I know you know their real names. Inspiration, Motivation, and Faith. We got Boldly Raw. I've got my wife Dawn, J&J Video Reacts. Thank you for being here. We got Apple a Day. Thank you for joining. I've got there's Brianna. I love it. I loved all of her comments. Shelby
Oh,
said, "Proud of you,
that's my
mommy."
daughter, one of my daughters.
Hey, Shelby. Thank you for being here. And we've got let's see, I'm going through here. Cultivating Joy. I can't remember if I mentioned that. I love these names. Boldly Raw. Thank you. And then I think oh, that's me. Thanks, Veganowledge JJ, for coming. I think I had to be here, right?
Yeah.
Menu, thank you for coming, Menu. She wants my cat, and Neo's being quiet for once, not walking over my desk. Mariquita Solis, she's awesome. Harmonic Earth Healers is her page. She said that's, well, we already read these comments. I'm thanking people. I got confused. Look, I never want to leave here. Martha, thank you. Thank you for joining. And of course, Jeanette, Misfit Vegan, I really, really appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on to tell your journey and how you're helping other people. Everyone, look out for her page. It is awesome. She is so real, and I love her message that she gives to the raw community. And also her course is amazing. So thank you, Jeanette, for everything that you do. And I am so sorry if I missed anyone's name, but I really appreciate you all coming. And of course, Tamra, I appreciate you, the Raw Warrior.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Everyone have a beautiful evening and go check out her YouTube. If you're here, I would really appreciate it if you would like, share and this video so others can see her story, and subscribe to my channel. It helps me grow to spread the word. And thank you for sharing your amazing Plantz